Why settle for incremental growth when you can boost your revenue, cut costs, and adopt new technology more quickly? Why navigate the complexities of AI and the complex tech projects or technology projects alone when you can have insights from the forefront runners and the innovation providers such as Glorium Technologies? What the world's leading AI and technology experts are doing right now to transform healthcare and life science organizations and drive unparalleled growth right now is what we're discussing in these podcasts. This podcast is your gateway to the answers, providing a deep dive into the world of artificial intelligence and its power to amplify your revenue, to cut costs and adopt those efficiencies that are critical to deliver patient care, especially around healthcare and life sciences. So my name is Dudley Peacock, and I'm joined by our AI and technology expert, our resident expert, Dmitriy Stepanov. And welcome to our podcast, The Revenue Amplifier, AI in Action. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. So AI in Action, we're talking about Revenue Amplifier, our podcast. And today, wow, are we doing revolutionizing treatment and care? And we're going to be focusing on really that transformational impact of AI in healthcare, the current market state, and then also looking at the potential in the future. And today we're going to be, I think, Dmitry, you're going to be talking about graphs, and we're going to go through statistics and that sort of thing. And I'm actually quite looking forward to today because the massive change and also the projections and looking at different data points and also the way that AI is being used in healthcare and the growth in healthcare. So there's some fascinating facts that have come up in the research that was done for today's podcast. Dmitry, good to see you again. Let's go straight in.
Yeah, so let's have some fun stuff, numbers, statistics, right? Okay. Yeah, I was actually looking at different numbers about AI, what's the impact of artificial intelligence in healthcare specifically, since we're talking about healthcare. And again, we're talking about the growth of revenue, how it's impactful from the financial standpoint. And I guess people already, it's overdue to start showing and start talking about some numbers related to money, business, right? We're talking about business after all. So here is one of the graphics, one of the charts that I created based on the different researches. Those researches, they're coming from Statistical.com, from Microsoft, from Grandview Research, a lot of different places. They are more or less consistent in their conclusions. So it could be trusted to some extent, but I mean, again, it's just statistics, it's just prediction. And that's actually one of the pieces which I wanted to show about trust to these numbers. So the first chart we are looking, it's a revenue growth, and well, specifically it's artificial intelligence revenue in healthcare. And on this chart, you can see that there was one prediction that was done in 2021. And this is these blue candles coming. And basically, they just show billion US dollars, billion amount, and the prediction how it will grow over the next 8 years, right? But then in 2023, they remeasured, reanalyzed, and reforecasted. And as you can see, this remeasured, reforecasted red candle is actually higher than it was predicted in 2023. So and that's actually, when I was working with the numbers, that's pretty much all over the places. We keep beating those predictions, even so they're pretty aggressive. So, for example, in 2021, it was predicted that AI market will grow somewhere between 35 and 40% per year, and we're beating those numbers. And it's right now predictions are even more aggressive, and those basically that you can see the red candles. That's how artificial intelligence will be growing over the next 10 years. I mean, I don't show all numbers here; that would be just too much to show. But that's the current predictions. And well, for information purposes, I mean, you can see that US market and somewhat similar, by the way, if you will plot European healthcare market, you would see somewhat, surprisingly, by the way, somewhat the same numbers related to revenue. So Europe is on the same level with US market. I mean, you would expect the Silicon Valley, California, IT, technology, expensive US healthcare that would kind of give a dominance, but no, that's pretty much even with European Union. But that's not most interesting piece from those charts. Then I started to compare those numbers with predicted current growth, historical growth of healthcare industry in general. Well, I mean, we're talking about technology, healthcare industry related. And what I found out that historically, because I mean, it's not just predictions, not just forecast, but historically, the fraction of revenue from artificial intelligence in healthcare is growing and growing pretty aggressively. So, for example, I mean, that's the second chart, this one. So, for example, in 2021, we were just under 2% of artificial intelligence was under 2% of the total healthcare revenue. Again, technology, healthcare revenue. We're not talking about not technology-related expenses. And as you can see on the chart, with the current prediction, actually with the old prediction, by 2028, this number would be somewhere around 7.5%. But with the new prediction, that's actually with the current prediction, not new prediction, that's the number gonna be around 10%. And if we will go down to our current year, so basically right now, I mean, this year, artificial intelligence revenue in healthcare is about 5%. And one of the conclusions, I guess, that I would make from this chart is that, well, if you're not in the artificial intelligence, so your current loss in revenue around 5%. I mean, it's kind of obvious domain to start investing. And I mean, Glorium Technologies, for example, we're all in. We see the huge benefits, huge potential in this area, and we see a lot of interest from our current and new clients in this area, and we are all invested in this direction. And I think this is a future. We're not going from artificial intelligence anywhere. This is, I don't know, it's a fifth industry revolution, I would say. They should come up with a new revolution, a new index for the industry revolution based on the artificial intelligence.
Well, yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah,
it's fascinating, and I just want to see highlight one thing I thought was really important for people to sort of just. It's very difficult if you look at percentages and obviously the graphs, and that you get a sense of what it is. But if you bring it down into sort of money in your pocket, the average return seems to be about around $3.20 for every $1 invested. I thought that was quite an interesting.
It's huge. Yes, it is. And by the way, I am afraid that the time for this kind of, well, I mean, I'm actually not sure. It's like with every breaking new technology, you're getting a lot of return as you start investing at the beginning. And obviously, as people start getting in, the market gets squeezed. I do predict that this return will go down. I mean, the growth will continue, and actually it will be exponential. But this ROI, I don't expect it will last for many, many years. I mean, I think realization will come to business, and a lot of investments will start pouring money into this stuff. And once it happens, then this number will be squeezed down to normal, adequate numbers, because this is just ridiculously high. I mean, this is just so high.
It is very high, but I think the difference for me this time, and you can add your version of this, but for me, I think the difference this time around is that AI touches just about every aspect of a business. I mean, if you think about, if we just talk about healthcare and life sciences here, and we're just talking here about, let's talk, let's say medication, so the pharmaceuticals. Let's talk, if you look at imaging and those sort of things, if you look at the actual tech side of things, but if you look at the way that healthcare and life sciences, how those businesses are being run, they use people, they deal with accounts, there's financial transactions, there's customer care, there's HR and recruitment and training and all. If you just look at it, actually AI is one of the technologies. If you think about ERP, like accounting software, for instance, most of the time it affected more, let's say, the finance department, or other technologies would affect another department more. But AI is one of those kind of technologies where I think that curve may carry on for much, much longer because of its impact across an entire organization, as opposed to just a portion of it. I don't know what your view is on that.
I see what you're talking about. Well, I mean, yes. Well, I mean, what you're saying, it does. Well, basically, it's the same as I'm saying that revenue growth in artificial intelligence will grow, will continue. We will see this trend. And again, it's going to be exponential. It's not going to be linear. It's just going to sharply to the sky. With ROI, it could be either way. And I didn't find any predictions in this, to be frank, in this area. And it's just, I think it's too vague, too gray. Huge opportunities. I mean, huge opportunities. And actually kind of to move into another way to think about those opportunities and where it's going. So in our workshop, we were talking about, so where exactly you can apply artificial intelligence in healthcare. So, well, I mean, there are two different, currently, we have two general categories: predictive AI and generative AI, right? And I said, well, I mean, you can use predictive AI in these domains. And actually, I don't know, I just literally pretty much listed all healthcare domains. And I said, well, let's take a look where we can use generative AI. And I start applying generative AI to each of these domains. And I said, well, you know, all those domains are applicable to generative AI as well. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, you know, at the same time, if we're going to expand, humans are applied to all these domains, right? And basically, the conclusion from this, I guess, game was, to be frank, the question, such question as to which domain I can apply artificial intelligence in healthcare, it's incorrect in its base, in its root. Everywhere. You shouldn't place limits. You shouldn't restrict yourself. Don't. The assumption is it's everywhere. Everywhere you touch healthcare, you can apply artificial intelligence. Maybe not today. Maybe with not current quality of the models. But if you want to build, if you want to invest, if you want to do research, pretty much any area you touch, you will be applying artificial intelligence. To be fair, different domain brings different financial impacts, obviously. And that's actually, maybe we should talk about the dynamics, how different domain were impacted by artificial intelligence and how it changed over the last several years.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so let's dissect them. Let's take a look. So look at these two charts. So one of them is from 2023 and another is from 2018. And as you can see, for example, robot assistant surgery, it didn't change significantly. So it's a very well developed, mature technology, tested, successful, a lot of experience, and pretty much no change in this area. But the biggest change that you can see from these two charts is actually from virtual assistants or administrative workflow assistants. So if before we're talking about just small fraction of all AI application in 2018, and you can see that last year it was pretty much 1/3 of all revenue was coming from these two areas. And I guess that is GPT development, how we came up with all these predictive text, graphical, video, I'm sorry, not predictive, what is it, generative AI related to text. And that's actually helped us to push significantly, develop, and significantly make a significant shift in these two areas. And the thing is, this area with the generative artificial intelligence, it's still growing. I mean, yes, we have these releases of Gemini, ChatGPT, and everything else, but to be frank, none of them are very matured. And the only reason, by the way, why all these technologies were pushed to the market, because everybody wanted to be first. Everybody wanted to be a dominant player in this area. That's basically what OpenAI did with their ChatGPT. Because I mean, every time when you talk about GPT, it's open AI, right? Even so, Gemini is GPT. I don't know, Llama is GPT. Pretty much every single LLM, generative LLM, is GPT. We did talk about this before, but well, I guess OpenAI risked. They took a risk, and they are right now. Well, one of the dominant players, let me put it this way. So what do you think, Dudley, about this?
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. I think that whole growth, the growth path, and also the new LLMs that are coming, and the GPTs as you call them. I mean, I think in the old days, when you wanted to do a photocopy, you used to call it a Xerox, because Xerox was the first company that came out with a photocopy machine, and then everything was a Xerox, whether it was a Panasonic or whether it was something else that was doing the photocopying. I think
that's actually interesting thing. Yeah, I came from Eastern Europe. We didn't have such a thing as SUV. We had Jeep. Everything is Jeep. I mean, Toyota is Jeep. Yeah, Toyota is Jeep. Jeep is Jeep. It's Jeep.
So and then you have somebody like Elon Musk coming up with his Grok, GROQ, which is another type of GPT, if you like. And these names are getting sort of more and more interesting as we go. But coming back to the healthcare side of things, the impact, and I've noticed, and maybe you want to highlight that a little bit, is you have healthcare executives, people that are running these healthcare institutions and so on. A lot of them are thinking about it. A lot of them are thinking about strategically implementing this over time, but a lot of them have not yet pulled the trigger. A lot of them have not actually started implementing AI. And it's just really, I think, because it's going at such a speed, and I think we need to highlight the fact that because those that are falling behind in implementing and actually just getting started, how critical that is right now. And even if it's just on a small scale, it's to start getting into that mode of getting started, getting going. So how would you advise executives, people thinking about AI right now? What would you be telling them? What's the right way to do it?
Well, let's talk about numbers first, and then I will give, I guess, some advice about this area. So I actually have numbers from both sides. So I have numbers from research, and I have numbers from my own communication with executives. And they, to be frank, to some extent contradict, right? And let me explain what exactly contradicts here. So based on multiple researchers, it says that 85 healthcare executives already have artificial intelligence strategy, right? Now, 48%, so it's about half, have put it into the action. I quoted research from healthexec.com. So, and in my perception, from based on the conversation I have with executive, different sizes of companies, corporate, small startups, and everything else, everybody talk about artificial intelligence. Well, most of people are talking. Some of them don't bother me with this one yet, but I frankly see much lower fraction of actual implementation. I see the growth, I see more and more questions, but we're not talking about 85% having strategy. We're not talking about 48% have put it into action. And by have put it into action, I mean, well, depending what exactly they mean by this quote, if they're saying, well, let's start looking around and let's start selecting technology for 2025 or 2026, if that's is have put it into action, then I would agree. But actually starting implementing, actually allocating budget, it's significantly lower numbers. Again, I see the huge growth in the interest. I see the huge growth in actual technical conversation, but it's still small. And my advice, well, there is no universal advice, Dudley, to be frank, because each company is unique. Is it a product company? So it really depends on the, well, if we're talking about health tech, so like product development companies, it really depends if artificial intelligence is suitable as of now. Majority, by the way, product are suitable for implementing artificial intelligence, but I guess, okay, so I do have actually universal advice. Get some person or team to your company that actually know what they're doing about artificial intelligence from the strategic standpoint. Rely on some expert opinion. Yeah, you can foster your own team. You can use your own team. They are smart. They are matured. They can learn new technologies. I have no doubts, and actually that is true. And leveraging your own team for business growth, that's probably one of the proper way to do it, at least for the core functionality. But we have so much stuff around and we have so much opportunities. It's just so easy to overlook some actual opportunities that fits your business from the artificial standpoint. So find someone, something that will give you a strategic overview or help you to analyze, to study some sections of your business, actually literally split your business into different sections and looking very carefully under, I don't know, workshop, something, analyzing potential feasibility study, requirement gathering, verifying that actually there is a demand on the market for the specific piece, verifying that actually is feasible from the business standpoint, financial standpoint, but expanding those horizons and looking at artificial intelligence with as wide as open. This is a crucial as of now, and I think it will last for next several years until people in the IT market, majority of the people in IT market, will become sufficiently professional, sufficiently experts, and they would know at least major trends or major, I don't know, development in those areas. But it's not happening now. I see a lot of people who are very good in specific niches. They just, okay, so I know this piece and I don't care about anything else. This is very dangerous for the business because if you rely on such people, your strategic vision will be very narrow-minded and very narrow-sighted, and that's you don't want to do it at this stage.
No.
Frankly,
No, you don't. No, you don't. And you actually want to think of this more of a strategic roadmap. It's like, how do you attack this in a 3 to 5 to 7 to 10-year plan?
Yeah.
What are the initial sort of use cases or pain points you can address right now that can quickly make changes? And I think it's the speed to change, if you like. What are the quickest wins with the smallest amount of impact in terms of money and time and people's learning time and adoption? What's the quickest win you can have in the shortest space of time? Get momentum, get confidence in the tech, get confidence in AI and how it can start helping. And then as you build out your roadmap, you can build out bigger and bigger and bigger projects. So it's almost like starting small and then rolling out bigger and bigger, unless there's a big problem that needs a proper addressing. I don't know. What do you think about that approach?
Well, that's actually, you kind of exposed one of the challenges that we work with. Let me put it this way. Very frequently, a lot, I would say, huge number, I would say dominant number of the companies, they do not plan. Well, I mean, they do plan, right? But they make decisions based on 1 year forecast, based on 1 year investment. So if we invest this year this amount, what's my ROI in 2025? 2026, oh yeah, we will draw nice charts that's going to be growing, everything future is bright, everything else is geared. But you know what? My bonus next year will depend on the ROI, which depends on the decision I make this year. So 2026, oh boy.
That's almost too far ahead.
Yeah, it's like way too far away. I mean, yeah, we can talk about it. Sure, absolutely. But no, I need something today, and I need ROI in 2025. That's it. So that's basic conversation. And I mean, well, it's industry, it's economics. I mean, like, it's like with the weather. The rain is not good or is not bad, right? The rain is rain. So that's a part of the nature. Tomorrow gonna be a sunny day. So same is here. It's a part of the business. And I mean, I guess if the situation is like this and the actual playing is done within a year, then we advise solutions that actually do bring ROI, appropriate ROI within a year. There are solutions that can do this. And I mean, you just need to work around those challenges. So,
and I think when you talk about ROI, I think there's different types of ROI, and there's the business as an entity,
yes.
But then there's also investors, people that invest in those entities, people that are using their money and saying, hey, I need some money back and I want a return on my investment in the company itself, as opposed to the company saying, I want to invest in something that will return a profit. Obviously, it always goes back to shareholders and or management teams who are getting bonuses and et cetera. So those are the executives you were talking about. But there is an ROI element to it. And so ROI is often affected by the cost of something. So ROI is like, this is the amount of money I put in. It's cost me that, it's returned me that, but the cost element, I want to keep it as low as possible and get the highest amount of return.
Yep.
I mean, obviously it drives everybody there. I just want to add something here that just came to mind, was over a period of time there was this whole environmental thing, which we all know about, sort of the ESG, as they call it, the environmental, social, and governance movement, and everything was about being green, being recycling and so on. And then this phenomena came up, which was called greenwashing. So greenwashing is where you would go to a provider or a supplier and say, okay, the materials that you're providing me, is that got green sort of stamps on it? Is it recyclable? And have you produced it in a green environment? And Did you, were you good when you produced that item? Were you a good person and you didn't destroy the environment? And what the points? And then they had all these credits you could start claiming, especially in the European Union. They had these environmental credits. So they had this greenwashing thing going where some people were being naughty, but they were trying to cover it up by someone else's environmental credits.
Yes.
So there was this greenwashing, like everything was like, yes, we green, but in fact, behind the scenes, I remember the electrical industry. They were provide electricity, and then they roll out a new piece of let's call it electrical lines or railway with electrification.
Yes.
And they say that is 2% of our revenue, but it's 100% environmentally friendly. But they don't talk about the other 98% that's old stuff that's still running and being unfriendly, if you like. But now coming to the AI side of things, what executives should be very wary of is don't rely on the tech that you buy. Let's say some kind of surgery equipment or something like that that has AI in it, as in it's developed with some kind of AI component, does not mean you're implementing AI in your business. So if you can see the difference is not buying a piece of kit that's got AI in it does not mean you're implementing AI in your business. It means that all you're doing, you're buying AI-enabled kit. Or like I see in software app purchases, when a company buys software and they've got a little AI label and it's, oh, this is AI. Oh, now we're implementing AI because we bought a software package with AI in it. So we got to be, I just want to get that differentiation or that distinction between the two.
Yeah, and I think that that does explain another number that 79% of healthcare organizations are presently utilizing artificial intelligence technologies, and that's exactly what you just said. So I purchased this surgical machine that has artificial intelligence. We are AI compliant company. We're cool guys here, but it's not. Yeah, you're correct. So
yeah. So I want to then just go back into sort of what Glorium Technologies does, because I think this is a good place to end today's podcast and say, if you really truly want to understand what AI is and what AI can do within your organization, let's have that conversation. Let's have a leadership workshop with us. Dmitriy is well researched, and I mean the research just keeps on coming. Hey, Dmitriy, it's like, how do I keep up? I mean, I don't even know how people keep up that don't focus on this 100% of the time. I don't know how they get that right. Have guys like Dmitriy, specialist, our expert, our resident expert, Dmitry's, and one of the team members come in, do a workshop with you. Go through what the latest environment looks like and what it actually means to implement AI. Implementing an AI solution is a lot to do with what you do internally, your workflows, your business processes, and improving, let's say, the output and productivity of your people, of your assets. And I mean, accountants love calling it sweating the assets. I mean, a good way to sweat your assets, a good way to get more out of what you got. I mean, you're on your payroll. If you improve your productivity, for instance, you could get 10, 20, 30% increase in revenue off the back of the same payroll investment. And I think those are the kind of things we need to be talking about, what AI implementation actually means. And so again, I just like to maybe you want to share one or two last golden nuggets, and then we're gonna close off by inviting everyone to have a conversation, and then we're gonna look at next week's episode.
Yeah, sure. So as Dudley said, we'll be more than happy to assist to provide proper solution, to take a look at your business, properly decompose it, properly take a look at the different modules, different sections of your business by technology, by business type, by department. There are a lot of approaches to make it properly, it's systematic, and holistic, I would say. If it's a healthcare industry we're talking, because I think it's a healthcare terminology. Regardless, so we would be more than happy to help you to identify the potential points in your business, show it to you, build your roadmap, and then you will be decided how exactly it's going to be implemented, with whose help, your internal team, our team, someone else's team. That I guess it's a secondary question, but I think this first one very important, to understand what exactly you want to do. Where do you have potential in your business? Very hard to do, but again, there are techniques, there are technologies, there are experienced people who already do have this knowledge. They already do have this experience with multiple dozens and dozens of different projects in different industries. And I think it's a very useful to utilize this kind of knowledge domain and this kind of expertise to build your business, to bring it to another level.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for our next episode and for episodes to come, we need to talk about the people element of it as well. So I'm going to leave that as our cliffhanger today, and talk about alignment. How do you get, there might be some people that are very excited about the technology. You might people that are sort of tepid, they're in between. Then you got people that are very sort of resistant to this technology change. How do you get alignment across your organization, across your leadership, your middle management, all the way down into the sort of your average, your steady Eddie employees and so on? How do you get alignment across your entire organization? And I think we need to tackle that as something going forward, because adopting AI or any kind of new technology does require change management. It does require alignment. Yes. And I think we need to be talking about that. Shall we do that in an episode to come sometime in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I think because this is a very painful point, as you said. So there is a resistance from industry, and different type of resistance, and that's actually what we're going to talk. It's a resistance from the executive management. There are reasons for this, and they are objective reasons. It could be tackled, but it does exist. There is resistance from middle management staff. Also different reasons, but again, objective, it's explainable, manageable. And there is resistance from, from blue collar level as well. And again, it's a very objective, there is explanation. And again, it's all three different type of resistance. They're all objective, but at the same time manageable and in constructive, positive way, by the way. So it would be very
nice. A lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot has to do with fear of losing jobs, or people just don't like change.
Yeah, that's actually, I think that's a common one for
yes, a common one.
Yeah, afraid of change.
Yeah. So anyway, so shall we finish there, and then we'll come back next week. So thank you, Dmitry. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Really appreciate you joining us on another episode of Revenue Amplifier and our AI in Action series. Today we focused on a lot of the statistics, a lot of the graphs. If you go into the description below, you can get access to some of the information that we shared, or at least links to where you can find some of these studies. I think it's useful just to take a little bit of time every week just to get a sense of where everything is going and what other companies and people are doing to ride this wave of improvement, because I think this is a wave of improvement that you can ride. So thank you very much for joining us this week. Looking forward to, again, thank you, Dmitry. Fantastic information. Much appreciated. And we're looking forward to seeing you next week again. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dudley. Next week.